You imagine? Just imagine. Iran. Couple jailed for 10 years over viral video showing them dancing at Tehran landmark. Astiaj Haggis and Amir Mohammed Ahmadi were arrested last November after the short clip on social media went viral as Iran continued to crack down on any form of dissent following a wave of protests across the nation. Look at, oh God. I'm so glad they locked these two dangerous bastards up. A young couple in Iran have been jailed for more than 10 years each after a video on social media showed them dancing at one of Tehran's main landmarks. Astiaj Haggis and her fiance, Amir Mohammed Ahmadi, were also banned from social activities on the internet and from leaving the country for 2 years. The Instagram users, both aged in their 20s, were arrested on the 1st of November after the video of them dancing at the Azadi Tower went viral. The news agency of human rights activists said they were both jailed for 10 years and 6 months for promotion of impurity and indecency, assembly and collusion against national security, and propaganda against the regime. A dance. A fucking dance. Oh man, there's a. They're both a couple that are in love and they're about to be married and everything like that, and they decided to have a little dance and fucking 10 years in jail. That's I've actually just recorded about the attacks happening in Iran. One thing is, see, doing stuff like that, massive sentences for like the tiniest little infractions that could, in some warped mental gymnastic way, be conceived as a middle finger to the state. Whenever governments start doing that stuff, they're on the way out. That's it. These are like the final death throes. This is like they've built their Colosseum, which is a giant testament to the end is coming. I don't see Iran being around for much longer. Or at least the Iranian government is definitely not going to be around for much longer. In defiance of the country's strict rules, Miss Haggis was not wearing a headscarf in the video, where women are forbidden from dancing in public. HRANA said a source had revealed the couple had been denied a lawyer during the proceedings at a revolutionary court in Tehran. Well, yeah, I mean, you're not allowed a lawyer or a fair trial in Iran. It's not exactly surprising. Miss Haggis also says that is said to have been relocated to Korchak prison environment, where the conditions come under regular criticism by campaigners. The video was seen as being part of the movement demanding more freedom in Iran. I know. Imagine not wanting the state to trample all over your human rights. How dare they? Iran has taken an even harder line than normal with any forms of dissent since widespread protests sparked by the death of Masa Amini in September. I think the protests have calmed down now after quite a few deaths and quite a few people receiving like 20, 30-year sentences just for standing there like in the crowd and stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, governments do that. That's a panic response by governments. They throw out, it's like shooting the gangster who shoots somebody in the middle of the street. He's probably just completely fucked himself, but he's that desperate to send a message and he's that terrified of people fucking with him that he does something as outrageous and crazy as that. So yeah, that is again. I don't see them being around much longer. The 22-year-old was arrested for allegedly breaking the country's strict Islamic dress code. The country's morality police unit, which was reportedly later closed down, detained Miss Amini for allegedly not covering her hair properly with a headscarf before she later died in police custody. Activists posted pictures without her wearing their headscarves as anti-government demonstrations spread across the nation and gained support abroad. The United Nations said thousands of people were arrested in Iran during the demonstrations, and they are all, they're all going to receive monumental prison sentences. But, I mean, it was a dance in the street. It was a dance in the street. I mean, Jesus, over here in Britain, some people kill guys and sometimes they can get released, less than 10 years for good behaviour and all that. They danced in the street. But again, like I said before, like those extreme measures for such little tiny minor things, that is the death throes of a government. That's a government panicking. As a government panicking and trying to send a message. And eventually those extreme prison sentences, people aren't going to care anymore. People aren't going to care, and whenever you do stuff like that, it just makes everyone angrier. It just makes that anger build up and fester until everyone starts playing the fucking techno music and donning the night vision goggles. That eventually happens. The only reason it's not really happened in China is because they still maintain their nationalist pride. they maintain we are one united people, united under race, ethnicity, culture, language, blah 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 blah, and stuff like that in China. That's the only reason they don't, because there's still a unifying thing among the people, whereas most governments, especially in the West, don't really have that anymore. It's at the point where if the tanks rolled in, why would you fight? Why would you? Why would you want to uphold this? So that's all I'm saying. But yeah, like I said in the other video, Iran's been next up in the chopping block for quite some time, and yeah, I hope none of you are young, fit, healthy men in military age. That's just saying.